So in this video, we are going to be looking at calculating the sample size. So now we've established that we need, a mix of individuals who represent an overall, represent the overall population. But now it's about how many individuals do we need to speak to. So before jumping into these concepts, I'd like to show you a very easy or rather an online tool where you can understand how to get the right sample size. So when we're putting in the population, it's our overall population, which in our example for now is around 1,000 students. The confidence level is as to how sure you can be that your sample size is representative. So we look at these concepts, but usually we select a 95% confidence interval. The higher the confidence level, the more sure you can be of the results. Your confidence interval usually is taken as 5. So for example, if you say that 43% students show an increase in test scores, you can do a plus or minus 43%. So you can either have 38% or 48%, between 38 and 48% students when you kind of scale it up to your population size and say that they are seeing this impact. When you calculate, your sample size now that you would ideally take is 278. So I'm just going to repeat that really quickly. We can take another number. Say we've done a program for 9,000 farmers. We're taking in a confidence level of 95 to ensure that the results, whatever claims we're making is 95% certain. And we're taking a confidence interval of 5, saying that if 50% or let's say 45% of farmers are showing an increase in yields, it's between 40 to 50% of farmers who are showing an increase in yields. And if we calculate, we should be talking to 368 farmers to get an estimate of impact. So let's look at these terms. Again, your population is the total number of people that your sample represents. In our case, it's either 1,000 students or 9,000 farmers. The confidence interval is how reliable your survey results are. You can choose from 95% to 99%. Usually, you can just stick to 95% confidence interval. Your confidence level represents how often the sample size, or rather the answer that or the result you get, what is the difference in what is the level of confidence. So if 45% fit and it's a 5, if it's a confidence level of 5, then you can say plus or minus 5% showcase similar results. Your percentage is also on how much, what percentage of people would pick that result. So I'm going to go back to the example and show you, but ideally we take a 50% percentage, that it could be 50% of your sample agrees with this result. And finally, when we calculate, we get a sample size, a number of respondents that we should, use or rather reach out to for our evaluation studies. Now let's look at this again. So our sample size in this case is, say we already know we want to talk to 1,000 farmers. All right. We have a higher sample actually. We want to talk to 1,000 farmers. We are taking a population of 50% and 50% with, the population is 9,000. A percentage usually we always take to 50. And now we'll calculate the confidence interval. So this is excellent, right? When we take a higher sample size, it's only 3. So if we say 45%, we are reducing the confidence interval. So it's between 48% to 42%. So 42% to 48% will have or showcase similar results. So your percentage, and this link is there in your folders, but your percentage is basically looking at the accuracy of how much of your sample would pick the same response. So I hope that kind of gives you some perspective on how to calculate your sample size. There are multiple other online tools that you could use. Moving on, I would now like to take you, in the next video, would like to take you through a sampling process, through the case study example we have, to identify sampling units, to select appropriate methods, to then go in and actually use this online tool to calculate the sample size, and then show you ways to prepare respondent lists. So in the next section, in the next video, and we will be looking at practically applying all that we've learned in the last couple of videos. Thank you.